A CNN fact checker was not thrilled about President Donald Trump's consistent lies during the first 2020 general election presidential debate. And now you're going to hear about it.
Clearly, this debate was an embarrassment for the United States of America, a clear embarrassment. I want to bring in CNN's fact checker, Daniel Dale, who's been very busy tonight scrutinizing everything we heard from both candidates. Daniel, first, the big picture. How much was fact? How much was false?
Well, it depended, Wolf, on who we were listening to. I think it's important for us as journalists to say when both sides are not alike. And they were not alike tonight. We had an avalanche of lying from President Trump. Biden, conversely, made at least a couple false or misleading claims, but honestly, he was largely accurate. There were times during this debate, Wolf, where President Trump's every line, specifically on mail voting, almost every single thing he said during that concluding section of the debate was inaccurate. And the other thing that stood out to me, Wolf, was that these are largely false claims the president has made before. These weren't one-time slips or gaffes or errors. These have been fact-checked, and he keeps saying them, and they're still wrong.
Avalanche of lies. And he's absolutely right. Just about everything that came out of Donald Trump's mouth, falsehood, fake news, as he'd call it. And so, look, it would take me probably the rest of the show to go and fact check every single thing that he has said. So I just want to focus on some of the egregious stuff. Now, for one, he said he brought down the price of prescription drugs by 80 to 90%. That's not true at all. That's completely false. His executive orders are essentially toothless on prescription drugs. So, I mean, come on, that's one of the easier ones to fact check. And again, egregious because there are people out there who've lost their health insurance, lost their health care, and already before the pandemic, and we're in the middle of one, couldn't even afford their health insurance, their medication beforehand. But this idiot's going out there and he's lying in front of people and being like, "Oh, did you know I cut the price of medication 80 to 90%?" Really? Well, how come vial of insulin is still $600? Shut the fuck up. All right, there's more. So, now, speaking of healthcare, Donald Trump basically tried to tie Biden to Bernie Sanders' healthcare plan. Okay, Medicare for all. Biden, unfortunately, predictably, agreed with Donald Trump's framing as Bernie Sanders being quote-unquote far left and ran away from Medicare for all. In fact, here's what Trump said. He said, "Joe, you agree with Bernie Sanders, who's far left on the manifesto." What is he talking about, manifesto? I mean, he's probably trying to be like, I'm clever, and communist manifesto, because that's the only one people who write manifestos are communists, right? No. I guess maybe it's one of the more famous manifestos, but no, I mean, the whole thing tying Medicare for all to communism is just absolutely ridiculous. But he says, and that gives you socialized medicine. Are you saying you didn't agree? He doesn't agree with Bernie. We kind of had a primary about it where Joe Biden's like, no, I don't agree that we should have universal health care, that we should expand Medicare to everybody. That's his policy position. It is not Medicare for all. It is not actually even universal. And I know I've hit him so many times over that because we literally need Medicare for all. We need a universal healthcare system. That's it. The ACA is what mainly Joe Biden wants to do, right? He wants to, quote unquote, fix the ACA and also do a public option, maybe. And look, again, the ACA is not even near socialized medicine. It's not even near universal health care. It's nowhere near Medicare for all. And look, in fact, in the debate, Biden talked about Medicaid, but hardly even mentioned his health care plan. Now, of course, maybe he could have said more if Donald Trump wasn't, interrupting him with bullshit every 5 seconds, but I don't know. I don't know what he would have done. But Biden's plan, among other things, does offer a public health insurance option, a public option as a choice, increases tax credits for people getting insurance on the Obamacare exchanges. And his website says, we are going to build on the Affordable Care Act and ensure more than an estimated 97% of Americans. It is not universal health care, which is what people to the left of Biden are calling for, like myself. What we need is Medicare for all. And I guess the best hope that we can come up with is, well, okay, Joe Biden gets a public option, which we should have had during the original ACA talks, but we didn't get. Okay, maybe we'll have it now, and then the next president, a progressive, will push for Medicare for all. That's right now the best we can hope for. And I don't even know if we'll be able to get that. But again, this shows Donald Trump, 100% liar. It's not Bernie's plan. Straight up bullshit. Also bullshit is Donald Trump claiming that his health care plan would be better. No, his health care plan, Trump Care, was so bad, even John McCain voted it down. No, but it's going to cover everybody. Where is it? Where is the plan? Where is the plan? You have no health care plan. Okay, anyway. So now there's voting. There's another one. It's probably the most important because, voting is incredibly important. Donald Trump lying about voter fraud. Now, he's been setting this up for quite some time. During the debate, Donald Trump referred to ballots found in a ditch or in a riverbed and said, well, there's your evidence of your fraud. Okay, so let's get into the details about that. All right? Now, officials did say that there were some ballots that were found on the side of the road. Oh, my God. Evidence of voter fraud? Nope, not really. In fact, there were officials there that said that there was a batch of mail that was found on the side of the road, which included several absentee ballots, though a Postal Service spokesman could not comment on whether those were completed or blank ones being sent to voters. And they started sending up these absentee ballots about September 17th, and they found these on the 21st. And so, who knows, right? As for the claim that 1,000 people were sent 2 ballots. So now, fact check says that's actually true. NBC4 in Washington reported that election officials in Fairfax County, Virginia, believe that up to 1,000 people who requested mail-in ballots may have gotten 2 by accident. Now, Republicans and idiots will point to this as like, aha! Voter fraud! Hold on. Just because you get 2 ballots, 1 by accident, doesn't mean that your vote counts twice. In fact, Fairfax County Registrar Gary Scott said that when every ballot is returned, quote, we make an entry into their voter record that they have returned a ballot. So if something else shows up, i.e. another ballot, we can see that their ballot is already returned, so we don't count it. Literally, it is set up so where you cannot vote twice. Complete lies. As far as evidence of widespread voter fraud, no, there is no evidence. And those are just some of the lies that were spouted by Donald Trump. Again, we had about an hour and a half of basically a festival of verbal diarrhea from the President of the United States. And a lot of us wondered, by the way, why Chris Wallace was not doing fact-checking. Well, to be fair, and I know, weird that I'm fair to Chris Wallace on this, but Trump probably wouldn't have shut up long enough for them to do a fact check and would have argued even more with the moderator. And then we'd also see a fact check on basically everything Donald Trump said, which would have made the debate probably about 3 hours long. Never going to happen. Never going to happen. And you know why? It's because Donald Trump is the human equivalent of a Gish Gallop. And you guys know what that is. Except, of course, with providing, because when you Gish Gallop, you just throw up a bunch of unrelated facts. In this case, unrelated and related lies. And that's what that is. It's no wonder that you have fact checkers out there that are pulling their hairs. They must be trying to find different careers at this point because it's just too much. It's just too much. And so, Avalanche of lies, 100%. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.